Hello, so time for the stream. Today I've got the GP-5M on, also known as the PMG-2. I've got the black one up behind me anyway, but I thought I'd get the other one out of the cupboard so I didn't have to take the display apart, because when I bought these there was a black and a grey one in the same thing. So good evening everybody, hope you're all alright. If I struggle in a bit to read the chat, what I'll end up doing is taking the mask off and putting my glasses on. Right, don't use the green filters, I'm sure you know, comrade, with your GP5, but otherwise, yeah, enjoy the mask. As you can see on this one, I've got a mask pole filter on it, not a standard green GP5 filter, for obvious reasons. Right, Mike? So it's very weird, isn't it, that The Last of Us is this month's free PS4 game, or whatever you were saying, when saying my version, the second-hand one of the PS3 one came today. So I've played a few hours of that so far. Alright, World War II Relics review. So I'll probably be streaming about an hour tonight. Yeah, also, weirdly enough, Mike, I was chatting to Bart about that earlier, because he was saying, if my copy come and was I liking it so far? He was saying if that ever went on PS4 for free, he'd get a copy. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it, Mike. So I'm only a few hours into it, and that's so far, but I am really liking it, because it's one of those games, because loads of people liked it, I didn't know if it'd be overhyped, but I think it's actually quite good. So no spoilers, anybody. Don't forget to like the stream. It says there's 17 people on so far and 5 likes. Cheers, Benzie. It's obviously just my merch hoodie, as you can see, and a GP-5M on. But GP-5M is, you know, good looking mask for a stream. At least it's got a voice diaphragm on it so you can hear me. That sounds good in that pop. How are you going to do that? Only 2 differences: ear holes in this one and a voice diaphragm. The same voice diaphragm all the Soviet masks used for ages. With Soviet voice diaphragms, it's quite a sort of I don't know, luck of the draw, if you want to call it that, if you get a good one or not. Not as in, like, does it leak or anything, but just, you know, do you get one that makes your voice really buzzy, or do you get one where people can hear you all right? Right now? Well, ABEC is just a type of filter. It's not a brand of filter. ABEC means it works against organic vapor, inorganic vapor, acidic vapors, and ammonia vapors. This is an ABE filter, so like ABEC without the K on it. Type in British Osprey Canteen Potato Farmer. That's what it looks like. See you, Danish, if you're off. It's actually orange, but yeah, I suppose under certain lighting it might look yellow. But this is like, you know, hazardous orange sort of colour. A bit like that sign behind me. Field of view, it's GP5's field of view, so it looks more straight on than it does sideways, but it's not an awful field of view, but it's not brilliant. So not great, not terrible. No, never really liked Nirvana. Yeah, so obviously inside this mask it looks pretty much identical to a standard GP5. It's just got the voice diaphragm at the front. If I turn it inside out, you'll be able to see that a bit better. Hang on. So yeah, inside out it looks like this. Let me just finish flipping all the rubber over. So yeah, you've got your obviously 2 eyepieces with the Tissot tubes, your exhale valves right at the bottom, and then that's the voice diaphragm there, which is sort of like a plastic thing. You can store a GP5 with the old filter on it, but obviously don't breathe through the old filter. Ah, that sounds good in that pop. Cheers, Leshin, if that's how your name's pronounced. All right, Daniel. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll put my glasses on now. That way I'll actually be able to view the chat a bit better. On the helmet to your left, when you say helmet, do you mean the MM1 with the tank helmet on it? If that's what you're looking at. Otherwise, I don't know which one you mean.
I'm all right, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, so Soviet MM1 tank crewman mask. Again, as I said, all of them have like the same voice diaphragm design like that. The Shums, loads of other Soviet masks up until they went to that style voice diaphragm on the GP7. Yeah, it's the exact same mask as this one, just in black, not sort of grey white rubber. Cool. Which version of it is it, Avon? Is it like the Mark 1, Mark 2, or Mark 3? Wow, I hope there is never a shit hits the fan thing. In the profile pic, British Light Anti-Gas Respirator, the SLR that's on the wall there, and like the Brody helmet, like Mark 1 or Mark 2 helmet that you'd call it. Oh, Mark 3, yeah, that's a good one. Just hopefully you've bought it from a seller that sells you the one they're, meant to be selling. Yeah, I've got quite a few NBC suits. I've heard it's good, Quentin, but I don't have one. I think there's some tests on YouTube where Americans have shot them, and I think they stand up to the same sort of standards as most Kevlar 3A helmets. There's two, isn't there? There's the M2000 and the M90 something. Is it M93? I can't remember. Well, they're called like WZ 93, aren't they? And WZ 2000, but both are pretty good. The WZ 2000, I think, is the one that has the really big ear covers, though. I've not got a C50. I've got an M50 and like it, but the C50 is just that M40mm. Well, it's the Mickey Mouse one that they made as a prototype to give to American kids and then never mass-produced. PMKS, I think, Potato Farmer, and also the ROU. I've got an ROU. That's kind of a disposable mask. No, it's broken. It's not even in this room, so I can't put the XM28 on. Yeah, it's there. Avon, see? At the moment, Richard, I've not had a chance to test my mag light outside because it's been raining non-stop. Because, yeah, last night I wanted to go out and give it a proper test. I couldn't in the end because it was raining. So all I ended up being able to do was just shine it at some trees opposite my house so I could, see that it was at least 50 meters range because it would illuminate those trees. But, I want to go down, like, into the woods with it and test ranges there, but where it's so muddy and rainy, there's no point. This is a small mag light in the terms of mag lights because it's only the 2D one. Bear in mind you can get 3Ds, 4Ds, and 6Ds. I've already answered you. If you ask again, you'll get a block. If I say no and you ask again, what's the fucking point? Sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm getting annoyed. Just people who ask questions and then don't listen to my answer really irritate me. Never heard of it, Excluzone. Ear holes and voice diaphragm. As I've said before, no, because that's breaching other people's privacy if I do that. I've already done a room video. That's all you need to see. What type of Brody helmet? Is it a Mark 1 or a Mark 2, baby? Oh, they're legit. Just don't believe any of them if they say, oh, the filter's totally safe. No idea other than eBay. What country are you in, Celtic Productions? Because I bet if you're in the UK, I can find you a GP4 for sale in like a minute of searching eBay, even less. Work that out from my username, Quentin. Oh, so it's like a US World War I version. Interesting. Ah, you live in the US. I mean, I could have a look on ebay.com and see if any come up, but probably not. All right, let's have a look. ebay.com, and then I want to search GP4. There's some from Latvia and Ukraine, but the shipping to you would be like $20. But yeah, there are ones on there. Just fairly expensive. I wonder if I can search US only or something like that. Let's do free international picking and then see if any come up. Sadly not just GP5s. Again, if you want a GP4, you can get them on eBay, just expensive delivery. Yeah, it's been pissing it down, Mike, the last 2 days here. You might get an hour or two where it starts drizzling, not really raining. There was some flooding in some areas near me yesterday, and it's only going to get worse today. Yeah, I suppose if you have it on for too long, Adam, it would get sweaty. That's cool, Benzie. It depends what they are, Avon. If they are literally ex-UK police ones that are being sold at that price, yes. But I imagine for that price, it's the liner without any filler in it. Yeah, that's true, Potato Farmer. As I said before, I really have no preference. As long as it's a well-made mask, a lightweight filter on one side isn't going to weigh the head down too much. If you have a filter that's like there on the mask or there, it's not too bad. Although the main ones I find, if the filter's there, you can't look down. I've already been doing that exclude zone if you bother looking at the videos. If you mean with this mask, does the voice box work? Yes, works fine on this one. The original filter contains asbestos. Yes, I've not got the original filter on it. D&B Militaria, that's where I got mine. They normally always have deactivated Leon fields in, but often they're like £600 now. Should not wear what helmet, Nautilus? Yeah, hopefully, Richard. I'm afraid I don't know too much about bow materials. They used ash a lot, didn't they, for old bows and yew? But any filter that's Gost threaded Samuel fit a GP5, so modern Russian filters, modern Chinese filters, Polish FP5 filters should fit it, although some people have said it won't fit there, so that seems to be like a gamble whether or not the normalized threads fit it properly. Yeah, obviously T34 is a bit obsolete now, isn't it, Benzie? All right, Waste. As I've said in videos, hose gas masks are good if you want a big filter. Otherwise, they're sort of a bit of a hindrance. I've done some of the panoramic style Chinese ones. I've done some of the panoramic 3M style ones. I've done some of the old Chinese military ones. Some of the modern Chinese military ones that they sell as export versions. I've not done an FMJ08 because they're too expensive, but I've done quite a lot of different Chinese masks. If it's 1990s, most likely the M40, if not might have been a newer M17 canteen. Well, the problem is you can't eat with a mask on, so you can't wear a mask for the whole day. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Don't forget to like the stream, everybody. 43 people on at the moment, which is good, but 24 likes, so don't forget to like. Well, like you just said, if you get a 60 to 40mm converter, you can fit a 40mm to the M1, if that's what you're asking, the Yugo M1. But otherwise, yeah, it's probably safer just to get a 40mm rather than risking using old 60mm filters. Not sure yet, Potato Farmer. Probably a video showing the silver play button, but that's quite a while off yet, isn't it now? It's not my 61k at the moment or something. And in general, I get about 1,000 subscribers a month, give or take a bit. And if one of my videos does well for whatever reason, sometimes that jumps up a bit. But at the moment, I imagine it will still be like 3 years before I get 100k subs. You could eat soup through a drinking tube, but that's going to make all the drinking tube inside the mask dirty. Then you get sweaty biscuits, Mike. Suppose you could do that, but I don't think it'd be a good idea. That's just the rubber stopper seal. Yeah, I'm sure you were joking, Mike, but I've heard people suggest weird things like that before, and they think there you've come up with a brilliant idea. Impossible to say, Tony, I'm afraid. Depends on what conditions you're using it in, how good the seals on it are exactly. That's quite cool, Benzie. Annoyingly, in the UK, all our civil defence things pretty much don't exist anymore. That's interesting. So they're like specifically designed for the mask, are they, Chris? Yeah, that's actually quite a cool idea. I've not thrown away any masks, Potato Farmer. Well, I'm not doing anything with rebreathers, as I've said over and over again. I would never fuck about with a rebreather. So I don't see why people are going, oh, why don't you fuck about with a rebreather? No, don't know what it is, Ultra. Israeli M15s are 40mm, not 30mm Celtic. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a timeout and don't fucking tempt your luck again by saying illegal stuff. There you go, Adam. Should be common sense. My favourite mask is the Avon CT12. I've heard of Topple before, Benzie, but I don't really know anything about it. I assume they had like shilkers, did they, in like the ZSU 23 2s and all that. Although most of the things coming up have nothing to do with Poland. Let me just put Poland after it and see if it... Now it's saying, did you mean top sites in Poland? Civil defense in Poland? CIA.gov. Oh, I found a CIA document on it, so I might save that to my PC later. No, CT12 is not the same as the S10. He was saying, can I make a bomb by doing something? So it should be fucking obvious why you're not meant to say stuff like that on a live stream. No, the problem is the rebreathers is most designed not to work with filters. So there's no way of testing them safely. The thing is with my rebreathers, right, is both the IP4 and the IP5, if you don't connect them, I can breathe in and out. So, you know, I know they work, but there's no way, I'm never going to, like, attach them to the bloody scrubber unit and pull the pin and see what happens. All right, cheers, Laser. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've got this out again. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to test it properly last night because it's been raining non-stop for the last 2 days, so all the paths are going to be really muddy. Going up to like where I normally test flashlights. I tested it outside my side door, and the trees about 50 meters away lit up really well with like the beam on the trees like this, you know, away. So yeah, it will at least see 50 meters of light from this quite easily. I imagine it will go to at least 100. But yeah, I'm gonna have to hopefully wait for a bit of dry weather, maybe tomorrow evening if it's dry enough. It's meant to be dry tomorrow. I can do a video testing the flashlight. Yeah, might as well, Chris, see if they give you any luck with that. Next gas mask I'm buying, I don't know, but I did buy an Italian helmet. What they call the Italian M33 helmets, the World War II Italian helmet today. So that should come by the end of the week. Because for whatever reason earlier, I thought, why haven't I ever thought about buying an Italian World War II helmet? And then when I looked, they're actually quite cheap to buy. So yeah, I've got an Italian M33 coming. In theory, violet you could do, but I don't really see the point in doing that. What's Streamlabs? I'll have to look into it. So is it like a different streaming service to YouTube or whatever? Well, I've got OBS, but if I stream on YouTube, it just goes through YouTube. Or does Streamlabs have like an actual... It says you can log in with YouTube and all that, but... Oh, that's good, Richard. I'm glad you get on with it. But as I said, it's a very good mask for the sort of 30-odd quid they cost on eBay at the moment. The thing is, if you wanted to donate to me and didn't want to lose as much of the donation through YouTube as... YouTube gives me 70% PC, by the way, not 50%. But yeah, the best way to donate in terms of me getting the most of it is via Patreon below. Because if they take 95%, I think Patreon only take 10%. So you could do it that way. But that, again, it's if I'm setting up another streaming service, it seems a bit silly because I don't know how well it would work. I'll be on tonight, Mike, as well. I used to build Warhammer Tank Boy, but I've got no real time for it now, I'm afraid. Yeah, there's 2 F1 grenades on that shelf and a Hungarian stick grenade. Yeah, the CIA supplied them stingers. Yeah, Benzi in the Afghan war. When is the next stream? Tomorrow evening, I imagine. Not sure the exact time yet, but yeah, it'll be tomorrow evening. But I might have Thursday off again from streaming. We'll see, because where I volunteer and all that on Thursday, some days I come back and then I'm a bit tired and don't really feel like, you know, streaming later on. Oldest thing in my collection. Hard to say, really. Because as I've said before, it's probably one of my interwar gas masks, or potentially one of my Brody helmets could be an interwar one. I find Cold War more interesting than World War One. Don't use an don't use a gas mask air softing, no Cookie, because that will damage it. Oh yeah, Avon, what Chris said, I've not used one personally, but apparently it's a very badly sort of done S10 clone. I did a video on that, didn't I, Laser? Let me see when that video comes out. Maybe it hasn't gone live yet, because that's the problem when you do videos so far in advance. All the ones I tested it on, though, it worked. But, yeah, it was published on the 15th of September 2019. It's 17 minutes long, and it's called FP5 and FP211 filter / mask tests. Yeah. All the ones I tried it on, it worked, but, I don't know if that's due to my masks having the right sort of things or not. Tell you what, while I've got this particular GP-5M out, let me try it with both this filter and the other one, the FP5, with some banana oil and see if it works. Favorite TV series? Well, that's a good one. I've got Captain Scarlet on Blu-ray. I really like Captain Scarlet, but that's an old 1960s puppet thing. Hang on.
Right, can't smell any banana oil with this one. So, yeah, it seems to be working fine on this one. Let me try the FP5. Yeah, I won't force it, but yeah, this one, the FP211 definitely fits on this one. Where's my FP5? Is it here? No, that's not FP5. Bear with me a moment while I find whereabouts the FP5 is in this drawer. Right, there it is. Oh, Lady Penelope with the pink Rolls Royce. Yeah, I think it was. Rich. If I can get this to start threading on. Why screwing this one the wrong way?
Doesn't seem to want to bite. Just give me a second. There we go. Right. Now let's see if this one's working. Favourite gas mask, the Avon CT12. Same as about 10 minutes ago when I was there.
Right. It's working on my one laser, so that is really weird.
That's all right, Cookie. Right, yeah, so that's what the O-ring looks like on mine laser. Is that the same as yours look? But yeah, strange. You can see that a bit of the paint's come off the FP5 when I've threaded it into different things, but both this and the FP211 seem to work absolutely fine on this GP-5M. Yeah, it's very strange laser, because, like I said, you're not the only person that said it, so there's definitely a thing where some people have got FP5s and they don't fit on a normalized thread, but all mine seem to. So, yeah, this particular one, if you wanted to know the dates on them, this FP5 is from 2006, 09, 2006. This FP211 is... Does that have a date? Might be on the top, hang on. 2001. 2001, so November 2001. So 2001, 2006. Interesting, so it's the same year as this FP211 one. As far as I can tell, the FP211s and the FP5s have the same threads, because you can see there's a bit of paint on each of them, where they've obviously been a little bit tight in some of my Ghost masks, but both of them definitely work. Oh, it's meant to, Benzie. This is the thing. Did your port account comment show up? I don't think it did, Chris. They're meant to, Benzie, but some people report they don't, and this is the interesting thing. I don't exactly know why. I mean, a lot of it comes down to the O-rings, because, you know, with these masks, if you put an extra O-ring in it, probably fit no problem. But you were saying with yours laser, didn't you? You found that you could actually get some NATO filters to fit it all right as well, which is really odd. It could be a quality control problem. I have no idea, laser. I mean, yeah, it might be. Obviously, that would make the most sense to me. If you've got an FP5 that's been slightly mismade in the factory, then it wouldn't fit any of the Ghost masks properly. But you said it fits your NATO mask fine, didn't you? I personally wouldn't play airsoft in a reproduction gas mask because it's not going to protect your eyes, but whatever. Is that one of the ones, Chris, where it's like a thing you put inside the mask? Oh, So you saw it, Mike. So is that one of those like little detectors that you put inside the mask? And then it's like basically a particle detector that's inside the mask that then tells you if stuff's getting in? It's very odd, isn't it, Laser? Very, very strange. I don't know if there is a safe substitute to phenate hexanine, and that was specifically designed for stuff like chlorine and phosgene. So I don't know how you could get one that would work against banana oil. Ah, that's cool. So it goes into the drinking tube bit, and then, yeah, it's pretty clever, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, Benzie. You don't want glass. But really, in general, masks are not designed for airsoft. That's the problem. Yeah, because I've got like a particle air detector I did a video on, so I assume it works in a similar way to that, but it's obviously just much smaller, as you said, because it goes into the thing. Obviously, here's my one. As said, so you flick this on, and then obviously the PM-2.5 is the bit that shows you the current particle count it's picking up. So it's like mid-20s, high 20s, really, at the moment, like with dust or whatever in the air. But just to prove that does actually do something, if I get that and blow a load of vapor into it, you'll see it go off the chart. So it's a bit like that, isn't it? But it's one that goes inside, you're saying, the actual mask. But yeah, that's pretty cool, because that obviously would tell you if there's a leak in your mask or not. But sadly, I don't know how easy it would be to get hold of one of those. But yeah, sounds interesting. You can get a few different types of particle air testers, but that's like one that was a pretty decently priced one. I did a video on it, but barely anybody watched the video. When it's warmed up, it also tells you formaldehyde and volatile organic compounds in the air, so you can test air pollution with it. You get some that are a lot more advanced than that one, but that's just a fairly decent cheap one, because you can get some cheap ones that are very, very basic and don't do anything, some expensive ones that are very basic, and then you can get that as a good cheap one, and then you can get some really good high-end ones that do loads of things. Oh, is it like one of those ones where you'd have it on a table next to the mask and then like a pipe going into the mask with it on the table or something? What was that, Bartos? Oh, so they've been looking for it for decades and they just eventually found the corpse. That's good. So is he going to be reburied and all that? So I think soldiers tried at Celtic Productions, but the actual like pH gases and all that used phenate hexanine. So they used proper chemicals. And there are reports that soldiers did piss on cloths, but that was never an official like piss on your handkerchief and put on your mouth like a lot of books I've seen have said, which obviously isn't true. I've seen like a 3M thing a bit like that, Chris, which I think is for like fit testing in the workplace sort of thing. You know, a bit better than using banana oil. No, I can't really do tricks at all with a vape, not less. I've done a vid on my World War II gas mask collection, not World War II, sorry, yeah, my US gas mask collection, if you watch that one. I've got some more since then, but I have already done the American gas mask collection video. But the thing is, ammonia wouldn't stop chlorine or phosgene. Yeah, exactly what Baby's just said. Adding a chemical that's going to make another horrible chemical isn't going to protect you. Yeah, funnily enough, Ash, that was brought up earlier. No spoilers, but my box copy came from today for the old PS3 because I never got around to playing it when it came out, and I know loads of people liked it, and because you can get it second hand now for under 10 quid, I thought, why not? Yeah, XM28 is cool. Oh, that's up to you, Cookie Core, but it's better than smoking actual cigarettes, isn't it? Do I play Fallout? I've played the original 2 Fallouts, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, and 76. So yeah, I've played a lot of the Fallouts, to be honest. I've not played Battlefield 1. I've played Battlefield 1942 and all the older ones. Yep. Well, you need soldiers to be able to put all the gear on quickly, don't you, Benzie? Because otherwise they're dead. What is the coolest looking mask, according to me? Well, the favourite out of all the ones I've got is the Avon CT12, and I like the look of the XM28 and quite a few others. I'd have to have one, Violet, that is all right for cutting up, as in, you know, it's expired but would still be good to show. But it would literally be the exact same thing, just the particulate layer would be like a paper heaper. I'm sure something like that should work fine with the FM12 green. I mean, it would probably be constantly exhaling, but I don't see why if it was plugged into the FM12 it would be a problem. There you go, Chris has answered you. But yeah, like you said, any mask it would screw into, I can't see why it wouldn't work. I will do a Halloween special, but I've not filmed it yet, and I'll have to come up with an idea for it. My scariest mask, out of all the ones I've got, probably my Polish SR1 casualty mask. I'm going to film quite a long flare video tomorrow, hopefully, and then I'll probably schedule that as the next, you know, like a video in the timeline of other videos, because it's going to be sort of a full-length one of loads of different animals. When you say how much millimeter is GP5, do you mean it's 40mm GOST, or do you mean the size of the mask? No, I don't have any horse or animal gas masks. Alright, cool, we'll have a look laser. But yeah, the bit that interests me is, does yours say RD40X1 / 7-inch? Because that's the bit, isn't it, that is the normalized screw. That shows up. That bit. So I think it might even say that on this one, which is obviously why this one's a normalized one as well somewhere. Does it? No, it just says RD40 on this one. So yeah, this one says RD40, even though it's obviously not standard RD40 because it fits the Soviet masks. I like the Czech CM4. I got the Flair TK Scout, you know, Flair's cheapest one. Although I think the Flair Ocean Scout's the exact same thing, isn't it? Just with a different, like, outside kind of case or rubber to it. But yeah, the Flair TK Scout's probably the only affordable thermal unit you can get that's actually any good in the West. Hype was saying in China there's some actually quite good affordable ones you can get, but... Okay, so that's the same. What I'll do later, after the stream's ended, I'll get your pictures up and I'll look at mine and see if there's anything that's notably different other than production dates, but probably isn't. It's just serial 9/2006, date produced 11 KW 2006. Alright, so this might be from December 2006. And it runs out 11 KW 2016. Oh, it says 05 2006 on the top. Now I'm really confused about when this was made, but never mind. Interestingly, I reckon this is a silver filter they spray painted, Because if you look at the top there, you can see where it's actually going silver the closer you get into the inside of the ring. So I reckon this is actually a silver filter like this one that they've just spray painted black with the FP5s. The inside's plastic, isn't it? So that won't tell me anything. But I reckon if you took a bit of sandpaper to an FP5, I reckon it's silver underneath. Yeah, it is silver, yeah. Not of all my masks, not so midnight, because I've probably got about 140 by this stage, so it's impossible to do it as a single video. But what I do is I do national collections. So if you type in like British mask collection, American mask collection into my channel, you'll find like a video that shows all those masks from that country in one video. Wow, if you're directly converting the price between like 30 to 60 pounds to US dollars, I guess $40 to $70. Right, yours says 501 SK. Mine says SK328. Verdun, probably. Because Verdun has the masks where they actually sort of fog up as you're wearing them. It has the realistic field of view with the ghosting in the middle and all that sort of stuff. But in The Last of Us so far, the S10s or FM12s, whatever they're meant to be in that, are pretty correctly modelled and they work against particulates. So I don't know if that's just because it's not worn off. Because like on this one, look, which is SK694, on this one, this is pretty faded. So it might just be my FP5 that is not faded at all. There will be depressed, but I'm not sure what time. Probably about 8 PM, 7 PM UK time. Well, I've needed it when I'm volunteering and stuff like that for protecting me from dust. I'm not a commie, Daniel. I wouldn't gulag people. There might just be people in interest, just interested in general military history or different bits. So I don't know, Bear, if there's a particular age group or interest group. I think it would just be people who find all this sort of stuff cool, to be honest. So I'd say I'd go more towards sort of collectors and just enthusiasts, really. What is my favourite gas mask? It's the Avon CT12. It's not changed today, any of the times it's been asked, or any other time. Yes, I do, Tank Boy, at the weekends. What mask did you get? Radioactive gas masks? The only World War II US mask I have, World War II relics, is the M3 diaphragm mask, I think it's called. There's a video of it on my channel. All right. What am I? Libertarian. So shall we extend that to anarcho-capitalist and then saying you're getting sent to the slave mine or something? How much have I spent collectively? Probably thousands of pounds. I don't know. Don't particularly want to know at this point either, because that might make me realise I could have spent the money on something more useful. I'm kidding, but you know. Which German gas mask did you get? Collective Farm is communist, baby. Well, it's more not this that some people ask it over and over again, and often it will get asked in the stream, and somebody joins the stream later and they ask it again, so it just gets so tiresome. There's a couple I want to get Nox, but again, it's always if I spot them at a good price, otherwise I wouldn't bother. But Canadian C4, German M2000, an FM53, FM54, there were some others as well. Any masks I just think often that look cool or whatever. I'd recommend any 40mm NATO Mask Vippen that you can get cheaply. So it depends what country you're in, but often that's any sort of ex-NATO countries' military masks or like industrial masks in 40mm NATO. Oh, well, yeah, they do that and a load of other things, baby. But yeah, in terms of what the government were planning on doing with survivors of a nuclear war in the Cold War, yeah, it was forced labor. Top 10 Slavic gas masks. I could do top 10 Warsaw Pact gas masks if you want me to, because I'm sure that would get a lot of views. So yeah, all right, Crazy Dave, I will do that, but I'll call it top 10 Warsaw Pact gas masks. Let me write that down before I forget, otherwise I will forget. Actually, no, I don't have a YouTube document, do I, on this computer yet? But yeah, top 10 Warsaw Pact masks, why not? I'm going to be biased and say Britain, just because most of the Avon masks are from Britain. People would still ask Violet Skydiver, even if it said right there on the sign, people would just ignore it and then still ask. Well, I prefer the Stalker games to the Fallout games, but I do like both quite a lot. But, I mean, Fallout is proper post-apocalyptic, because obviously it's based in the future after a big nuclear war. Stalker is like a localized thing, because it's just in the Chernobyl exclusion zone after more Soviet wacky science happened after the nuclear accident. All right, cheers, Mike. That way I won't forget. I won't be able to film it this week, but next time Bart's free, I'll see if he can bring over his camera with that cool filter thing so I can do it in, you know, like a desaturated kind of thing again without just going into Sony Vegas or movie studio and desaturating it that way, you know, actually doing it with color filters because that looks more interesting. What was in, like, my least favorite out of all of them? Well, I'd have to come up with the 10 first, wouldn't I? That's the problem. But I think something like the Polish MC1 or the Czech CM3 would be on there, but pretty low down, because I'm going to include both military and civil defense masks in there. Which country makes the worst masks? Not really, because as I've said before, most countries have done both good and bad masks. So I'm not aware of a country that's only made failures, or the majority of their masks has been the majority of the masks they produce have been failures. Yeah, if for the people asking about CT12s, if you want one, get an FM12, because I was just really lucky when I got the CT12 that it was like 30 quid on eBay years ago, where the person's like, Avon CT12, buy it now or best offer, $29.99 free postage or something. So I just bought it for like 30 quid. No, I don't collect coins. My dad used to, but I think he sold nearly all of his gold coins to be melted down because they were worth more melted down into gold. So he just did that to get a load of money to spend on stuff he wanted to spend it on recently. What is my favourite national anthem? I like the East German anthem quite a lot, actually. Probably either like the Soviet Union's anthem or the East German anthem, actually. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, but I would never threaten my viewers with violence. Not really. But if you've had a coin collection for years, it might be worth doing something like that. Yeah, like with Mike's one, isn't it, Richard, where they keep saying hello's real. Well, they're not CGI. They're physically real, but they're obviously not live firearms that still work. What German gas mask have you got? Sweet permits. Oh, thanks again, Laser. Well, I think normally what it is, Laser, is you're probably smelling the odour of the air itself, aren't? No, it's not the odour of the air, sorry, the odour of the mask. Because, for example, if I've got a mask on that has a particular rubber smell, that's the only thing I can smell. As soon as I take the mask off, I can smell... Because on my windowsill there, behind the curtains, I've got one of those wax warmers where I'll show you what I mean. It's one of the things that you put these sort of things in. It's like a scented candle thing, but you put these in and it melts it. It, you know, gives the room an odor. If it's going to focus on that. But, you know, it's... So whenever I take the masks off, that will be the smell that I immediately notice. Will be, you know, whatever fragrance I've got in there. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend eating that low radioactive gas mask. It'd probably kill you. But yeah, it's the actual brand of it is an Airwicks one, I think. But the actual Airwicks scent things are quite expensive, so you can go on eBay and buy like other third-party scents for it, and they're much cheaper, and they're like, you know, the same strengths and everything. Yeah, wax melts, exactly. But yeah, that's the thing I notice, Laser, is as soon as I take the mask off, that is what I will smell, is the stuff in the room. And I notice even with a particulate filter on, it blocks the smell of that. I'm hopefully doing that next year, Tank Boy. That's interesting, Daniel. When I've tried food ones for that, I've never really liked them. I've always preferred the thing like laundry scents, or, you know, some like the more floral scents. I know some people like the food ones, but I sometimes find the food ones a bit distracting. Yes and no, Mr. Cannoli. It can protect you from like particulates in the smoke and stuff like that damaging the lungs, but it can't provide you from carbon monoxide. It can't cool down the air, and it can't actually, you know, provide you with oxygen and stuff like that. So it's better than having nothing on, but it's not going to protect you really all that much, which is why obviously firefighters have air tanks, because you know, when the firefighters have the air tanks, they're being supplied with clean, fresh air that's bottled. But obviously, if you've got an actual mask on in a house fire, it's going to protect you from some of the effects of the smoke, but not much. Yeah, that's strange, Laser. Everybody I know, their house always has a distinctive smell to it. I don't think any of my friends have a house that smells unpleasant, but they always have a house that has a smell to it. Well, it depends what room you're in my house, because the conservatory out there, because it's been leaking for so long, it just smells like damp and mold in there. But yeah, it either smells like fragrances of some sort of mold. But yeah, exactly. I've seen pictures, Rich, of firefighters in some countries where they have just got conventional gas masks on. But I don't know if that's just for fires in ventilated areas. Like, you know, if they're putting out grass fires or something where they don't actually need oxygen, so they've just got that to stop them inhaling smoke. If I could travel wherever I want, I don't know, I want to go to America the following year, after Chernobyl next year. Yeah, well, Sea Dog, in all the pictures I've seen of them and videos of them ever going into house fires, yes, they always have an air tank on their back. But I've seen pictures of them doing wildfires in the UK, like moorland fires and things like that during the summer a couple of years ago, and they had like dust mask style masks on for that. And I'm assuming it's just because there's no risk of suffocation or carbon monoxide levels, because, you know, they're in a big wide open space with just a bit of smoke around. That's just to protect them from the smoke dust rather than anything else. At some point I will, Violet, but I have to think of more masks that I've got duplicates of. But the thing is, I think most masks are going to survive Lie with no issues, to be honest, because I'm yet to stick a mask in there which has absolutely fallen apart. The thing is, I think a dust mask, though, if you're just outside and it's, you know, like smoke in an outside area and there's nothing toxic burning in the smoke, all it's going to do is just stop the smoke getting into your lungs, so the particulate filter will catch that, so that's probably fine. All right, cool, Swan. I've got that actually on my desktop, and I've not got around to playing it because it was on Steam sale a couple of weeks ago, so I got it then, and I've still not got around to playing it. I like T-72s the most, Tank Boy. That doesn't mean they're the best tanks ever, I just think they look really cool. Oh, well, you're lucky then, I guess, Laser, that there was not a harmful level of it, but was it just like a low level or something? But yeah, we ought to probably get one, but obviously I'm sure at this point somebody would have collapsed or died. That's interesting, Chris. So is that like absolute pitch black where they can't see anything? So is it just like how they stay calm and feel their way around kind of thing? Because I know some fire units use thermal cameras, don't they, and things like that, so they can see in the dark. Maybe I ought to get one, Laser. Let me have a look on Amazon. You don't need to ask that every stream. I'll let you know when it melts. I'll do a video on it saying my melted M1. But let's see. Carbon monoxide detector. Is that like a handheld one? Because ideally, I don't really want one that mounts on the wall. I just want one I can get out now and again and try. Ah, this is a good one. It looks like it plugs into a regular power plug. And it gives you a reading number. So I might get this one after the stream. Right, there you go, Laser. I'm going to use your donations towards buying a carbon monoxide detector. So I will let you know if you save my life later down the line. Ah, multi-gas detector. Before I buy this one, let me look that up then. Because that would be kind of cool for doing gas mask videos with, I guess. Multi-gas detector. Do you know what brand yours is? Because there's a couple of different ones on Amazon, and some of these look quite good. But propane, butane, methane gas, LPG, natural gas, coal gas. So that's carbon monoxide, isn't it? Coal gas. So this one, it looks like it plugs in, then it comes up with a number, and also has an alarm. It also can use 9-volt battery as a thing, has a noise alarm if you've got a gas leak. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. I'll probably go for this one. Well, that's interesting, Chris. That's very interesting, Chris. Yeah, because I imagine that's the thing you wouldn't normally think of, would it? But yeah, it'd be something you need to do if it's pitch black and you need to get out. It's like when I've read all the horrifying stories of people drowning cave diving because they kick up a load of silt and then they can't find their way back out. So yeah, this one says combustible gases, kitchen methane, natural gas, camping propane. See the standard. Yeah, because I can do volatile organic compounds, that other thing I showed earlier. Okay, cool. I'll have a look around before I get one, Laser, because I'll try and find one that gets a few things other than carbon monoxide. Stucker. Tank boy, in terms of the modern ones, either the A10 or SU-25. Yeah, on UK Amazon, most of the ones coming up are just sort of like very basic ones. And like that one I read out. So I'll probably go for that one I read out because I can't see anything that does more than that one. And then all the other ones coming up are, you know, ones for detecting wires in the wall, but I've already got something that can do that. I'm assuming it's poisonous, Sea Dog. It's probably just causes coughing and like sneezing and stuff like that, and like maybe lightheadedness. But certificate of calibration. Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I check for that. We get CE and ROHS certificates and China compulsory certificates. So I'm assuming that would be those, wouldn't it? Is a CE one a calibration one, or is that just quality check? SGS OS 9001. Let's see if that's mentioned on here. All right, cool, Laser. Well, if you PM me those details on Discord, please, I'll make sure when I look for one, I can try and spot as much of that in one as possible. All right, see you radioactive if you're off. CyberConnect, my favorite mask is still the Avon CT12, and it's comfortable, lightweight. It would be good enough if I wanted to use it to protect it. For me, it gives me a good field of view, fits my face very well. Ah, so that's good. So it's got a load of fail-safes on yours. Let me just see what turns up on eBay if I search multi-gas detector rather than the ones on Amazon. In case there's ones on eBay, like you said. Oh yeah, there's actually a lot more choice on eBay. Some of these look a lot like anomaly detectors from Stalker, actually. That's quite cool. There's one made by Draeger. Yeah, that's cool. MSA. It's kind of cool. I recognize the names of these companies. What's this one? 4-in-1 for 81.92. This one does carbon monoxide. Hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, oxygen, and combustible gases. Ah, I see. So a lot of them only seem, on the cheaper one, only seem to do carbon monoxide and combustible gases. They don't do oxygen or hydrogen sulfide. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you suppose you want one that you're not going to break easily, don't you, Laser? Well, they wouldn't, Tank Boy, because I'm medically unfit to serve, but the answer would still be no at the moment, because I'd be completely useless for military duty if I shit my guts out and bleed internally. Right, thank you, Laser. I will do that as soon as the stream ends, which will be a few minutes, but thank you again for the donations. I really appreciate that, because I'm obviously, yeah, it always goes towards this stuff. And yep, and as I said, I'm really liking this so far. I'm just hoping the weather dries up soon and I get a chance to go out and do a video with it. Oh, got that completely in my eyes then, huh? The problem is I don't know what the 10 most common industrial gas masks would be. There'd be a couple of different panoramic ones. I suppose you could say 3M this, 3M that. If you could donate, that's good. Thanks, Cyber, but don't worry too much if you can't. Right, anyway, I'll be going off now. I'll check your thing on Discord in a moment, Laser, before I go off and do anything else. And I'll see you on Twitch at 10, Mike. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. As I said, I'll hopefully do a stream tomorrow evening, but I might take Thursday off again. I don't know. I'll see how I feel on the day, because obviously on Thursday, if I've got the energy, I'll do a stream. But if I'm quite tired after volunteering and everything again, But yeah, see everybody. Goodbye.